The world was alive and it boomed with noise. Birds chirped, waves crashed, guns fired. Babies cried their first tears, men gasped their last breath. Yet all that came to an abrupt mute, broken only by the sporadic occurrence of unsettling sounds. They seemed to emanate from nowhere and everywhere simultaneously, pinging across the globe. Scientists were baffled, unable to explain the origin or purpose of these enigmatic noises. Among the perplexed researchers was Dr. Enrique Basque, a seasoned astrophysicist and engineer with a reputation for pushing humanity to its limits. He'd been part of the first team that sent a message to the cosmos in hopes of an answer. Enrique sat in his dimly lit laboratory, surrounded by stacks of research papers and data charts. His weary eyes scanned the information, hoping to discover a pattern or clue that would shed light on the source of the inexplicable sounds. Yet his efforts yielded nothing but frustration. The recordings seemed random, elusive, and devoid of any discernible meaning. The world anxiously awaited an answer, scared of an impending danger. Enrique's attention was momentarily diverted as his gaze fell upon an unopened gift on his cluttered desk. It was the last thing his daughter had given him years ago, before the heart-wrenching divorce that had torn their family apart. He'd thrown the gift in a fit of frustration, wanting one night of peace to focus on his work. He'd made a breakthrough the next day in his work inventing a cryogel, earning him a contract with a big company, but at the cost of his family. The guilt that lingered within him resurfaced, reminding him of the years he had spent neglecting his loved ones in the pursuit of scientific knowledge. With a sigh, he reached out and gently unwrapped the neglected gift. An old radio gleamed with a pristine allure, with a distinct hairline fracture dividing the radio in the middle, as if mocking his broken familial bonds. But there was something more. As Enrique inspected the radio more closely, he noticed an inconspicuous button on its side. Intrigued, he pressed it, and the radio sprang open. He discovered a cassette tape nestled within. The tape bore a familiar faded label. It was Chuck Berry's timeless classic, Johnny B. Good, a song he'd danced with his daughter when she was little. This was the reason he chose it as one of the many first songs sent to outer space to a seemingly non-reciprocating audience. Enrique carefully inserted the tape into the cassette player, hoping it would work in its damaged state. After connecting an aux cord to the radio from this sound system, he hit play, and the room was filled with static pause, punctuated by the occasional crackle. Then, the familiar melody began to play, albeit distorted and slow. Enrique's eyes widened as he listened to the pinging rendition of the iconic song. The slow, distorted tempo sent shivers down his spine, and an unsettling realization began to take hold. He knew this rhythm all too well before, amidst the cacophony of the unexplained sounds that had plagued the world. The alien echoes matched the melody of the damaged cassette tape. A haunting question consumed Enrique's mind. Were the aliens broadcasting the very same music that had been carried on the Voyager 1 mission's golden record, an artifact intended to introduce humanity to extraterrestrial civilizations? It seemed that they were making their presence known, perhaps using the musical legacy as a sign of their impending arrival. Enrique knew he had to act swiftly. Time was of the essence. The once silent skies were about to become a stage for an encounter of unknown magnitude. With the realization of the aliens' imminent arrival, panic and chaos began to grip the world. Governments denied the existence of any imminent threat, desperate to maintain control and prevent mass hysteria. Undeterred by the dismissive attitudes of those in power, Enrique meticulously analyzed the pauses between the alien broadcasts and synchronized them with a string of numbers. A pattern emerged, revealing a specific time and location for the extraterrestrial arrival, their advent, nay. Enrique summoned his remaining courage and, against all odds, managed to secure an audience with influential world leaders. With his evidence and data in hand, he pleaded for their attention and cooperation. Time was of the essence, and he knew that if humanity did not unite, the consequences could be dire. Some leaders scoffed at his claims, dismissing them as the ramblings of a deluded scientist, but a select few recognized the urgency in Enrique's voice and the undeniable correlation between the alien sounds and the damaged tape. These leaders understood the importance of preparing for the arrival at any cost. As the world watched, torn between disbelief and fearful anticipation, the fateful day arrived. The designated location, revealed by Enrique's meticulous calculations, had become a global gathering point. People from all walks of life stood side by side, united by a common uncertainty. Then it happened. The sky above the designated coordinates darkened as a colossal spacecraft materialized, casting a foreboding shadow. A collective gasp escaped the crowd as humanity bore witness to an event that would forever change their perception of the universe. As the massive alien vessel hovered above, a message was broadcasted across the world, transcending language barriers. The aliens had come not as conquerors but as scientists, entrusted with studying the culture and biology of countless civilizations. They had intercepted the Voyager 1 spacecraft, carrying the golden record that carried humanity's call for communication. The distorted melody had been a message from the cosmos to let Earth know of their impending arrival. Humanity collectively believed the visitors sought to engage in peaceful exchange, sharing knowledge and forging connections that would extend beyond the current boundaries of Earth. Dr. Enrique Basque stood amidst the awestruck masses, his heart pounding with a mix of relief, wonder, and trepidation. The thought that the aliens had intercepted the Voyager 1 spacecraft and reverse-engineered his message to communicate their arrival left him in a state of profound awe and anticipation. At that moment, Enrique felt hope and longing for his wife and daughter, for this is something he wished to experience with his once-called family. Humanity was about to be launched into a new chapter, but one they could not have anticipated. As humanity embraced the opportunity to collaborate with the visiting aliens, a new audible message filled the skies. Mozart's Queen of the Night, a song also inscribed on the golden records, began to play. The lovely voice became a painful, sharp pitch that began to bring people to their knees and agonize. Across the world, windows shattered and buildings cracked. Why would these aliens communicate such a sinister song? Unless this message wasn't from them. From the cold, dark depths of space, across countless stars and galaxies, a dark warning was being beamed to Earth from another source, and all humanity could do is wince at it. The song ended after 2 excruciating minutes. As people began to gain their senses and composure, the song began to play anew, this time with only the lyrics, Tod und Verzweiflung, repeating over and over. Some people were puzzled, but most had taken out their phones and translated the words. From German to English, the message repeated, death and despair. Death and despair